Yeah, it's really nice out here now because they closed the roads for the very center of town, which is nice. Totally over that traffic. It seems pretty chill today. It's Christmas Eve right now, so yeah, it's a really nice square though. By the way, the ATMs in this country kind of suck. You can't take much out. Like, I wanted to at least take out 500 each time, and I think the first time I went in the airport, I took out like $200 and maybe $100 the other time. Even now, it was like I could take out like 75 bucks, and then they want to charge me like $8 ATM fee. So just keep that in mind. I maybe look up what the best ATM deals is, because I know this is like a center square, but even the other random towns I've been in and stuff, I like go to the ATM, it's like $100. Not the best. So as I mentioned, I was considering studying Spanish somewhere in Latin America and living there for some time, and this was one of the big spots I was considering, and I still am. So I'm thinking of how I would manage it. Of course, I could try to like teach English at a university or something here, but probably don't make more than like 500 bucks a month, you know, so it's not really worth it unless you got another kind of income. Hopefully this YouTube takes off within the next 5 years, right? Of course, I wish this YouTube channel would do a little better, but you know, it's not always the case. But another idea is like come here next year in the winter around like December, January, February, which are the slowest months for when I do tours anyway. And I hate the winter, you know, Colorado winter. Like Denver itself doesn't have, you know, a ton of snow, but a lot of those trips up to the mountains, I hardly ever even go snowshoeing or anything on those tours. So yeah, it'd be great to come here for like 3 months, rent my apartment for 3 months. I don't think that would be hard because I live right downtown and it's a cheap price. So come here for 3 months, just study Spanish. And that's better anyway, because you know the problem with teaching English is that when you're teaching a language, you don't want to learn another language as much because you're already kind of on that subject all day anyway. So I think that could be kind of a nice idea for next year. But if my tours are pretty mediocre coming into this summer, I might leave early. It would make more sense for me to go to like back to Asia and make some money. But I've already spent 15 years in Asia, so like I'd much rather go to Latin America somewhere. It's different, and I'd like to learn Spanish, so I guess we'll see what happens this year. Check out the photos online. It's like $13 to go in. It's not super expensive, but see you next time.
Riding motorcycles. So my backpack is full. You know what this is.
This is for you.
Exactly what.
Do they spit?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So cute. As long as you don't spit on me, right? Yeah. And one of the reasons why I want to live in Latin America and learn Spanish is not just because it's interesting. I mean, I love living overseas, living in China and Taiwan and Nepal. It's amazing. That's why I've did that for half my life. But the reality is, like, I'm 44 in a few months, and like, you know, I tried to get this tour company in Colorado taking off after everything in China went to shit during COVID. And they have monopoly rules in the transportation and tour industry. So my competitors get to decide who's allowed to do tours, basically. So I could do like some bike tours and some little things, but of course there's not, what am I gonna do in the winter for 6 months? And so the reality is like, I mean, I'm not gonna be able to buy a house and retire in the States. Like, there's just no way anyway. So I might as well find some ways to make money online and start learning Spanish. Yeah, find a place to live and get residency down here somewhere, because as much as I tried to make it in the States, you know, just typical BS. And they also, like, Colorado also, like, banned Trump from being on the ballot for the elections next year. And, like, whatever, I understand people don't like him, but, like, he's not a bigger crook than any of the other politicians. And he's not even going to win Colorado anyway. So it's just a middle finger to the working people of Colorado and in general people, like, to say, like, who's allowed to do tours and who you're allowed to vote for, or maybe not to vote for, but, like, take politicians off the ballot and stuff. It's, like, fucking worse than China. Yeah, it's sad what's going on in America. You know, when I left, you know, 15, 20 years ago, it was after I got out of the Army, and a lot of it was because of stuff like the Iraq War, and a lot of the, you know, the BS coming from the right wing at that time. And I didn't mind Obama or even Clinton and stuff like that, but now it's like the far left's taken over to tell me, like, I'm not allowed to make money if I don't prove it's in the public good. Unbelievable. And at the same time, they're going to give, like, hundreds of millions of dollars to homeless, which, sure, there's some people who are down on their luck and looking for work and mental illness, but it's like 90% drug addicts sitting on the road all day. You're going to give them a house and all this money and stuff. It's just insane. And since the government said I'm not allowed to go to any tourist areas because that's what my competitors told them, obviously that's cut out 75% of my business potential. I can't go to Pikes Peak. I can't go to Rocky Mountain National Park. I can't go to any tourist spots. So of course I could go snowshoeing and biking and stuff, but, you know, it's just not enough. Like, Colorado, you need to make probably $80,000 a year. And so that's why I'm having to teach Monday through Thursday night from 5 to 9:30. So it's like 80-hour a week. You know, it's like I might as well just teach here and be broke, you know, than work for a fucking government that tells me I'm not allowed to vote for this person, or I'm not allowed to make money doing my own business. And of course I could try to, like, retrain and, like, do coding and, like, try to break into a new career. But even a lot of those people are getting laid off because of AI and whatnot. So, like, starting another career for another company because the government doesn't allow me to make money doing what I do great too. I mean, I do a great job doing tours. You know, everyone really enjoys it. I've got great ratings, whether I was in China doing tours, whether I'm in Colorado. Everyone likes the, you know, I pick people up at their hotel. They could go at their own pace with whatever we're doing, and I drop them off at the hotel. It's excellent service. And I have to give up, like, what I'm good at to, like, work for some company. So that's not happening. No way. And of course I could start over, like, in another state, but it's like I already tried doing the tours in China for several years, and then Colorado. Like, I'll just try another country and, yeah, try making money another way online or something. Another thing to consider in this part of the world, in Arequipa specifically, is that there's still some opportunities for some tours here. I wouldn't want to obviously step on anyone's toes, and I'm not interested in Machu Picchu and, like, Colca Canyon, the main tourist stuff. But, you know, there's not even any bike tours here in town. As I mentioned, the town's not great for biking. But there are some of these, like, little alleys, and, you know, I'm sure if you mapped it out right, you could do something like that. And, yeah, there's quite a few other things, like, even that drinking tour we were going to do yesterday was really only like a couple drinks and mostly a walking tour. So I could, you know, put a couple things online on, like, Airbnb experiences or on Viator, like I have in Colorado. And, you know, if I just do a few trips a month, an extra $500 would help, right? And hopefully I get a little bit more from YouTube eventually. I won't hold my breath there, but, you know. Anyway, this is a good local traditional restaurant here. What I really want to try is this, like, stuffed red pepper that looks really good. Yeah, I tried this at Recado Rolano Tradicional. The hot popper filled with minced beef olives and stuff. Yeah, that looks like a good one. Looks great. That's a cheese thing I had yesterday, like cheese pasta thing, and yeah, this looks great. Hopefully it's not as spicy as it said. And one of the things I was reading is like it's 10 times hotter than a jalapeno. It might be a little rough. Yeah, so it's not pasta and cheese, it's potato and cheese. That's so good. And the pepper's not bad, like it's good, but not as like epic as a lot of the other places I've been so far. And considering this is like a fancier restaurant, and that's, you know, probably $12, $13 a meal. The one yesterday was like $2.50 and better. So yeah, the hole in the wall places are always where to go. That's another nice thing about this area too, is that the weather's really nice. It's not unbearably hot and humid like, you know, like I imagine most of the area near the equator, like Colombia and probably Mexico all the way down to Ecuador, and those areas in the summer are going to be pretty hot unless you're in the mountains. And here it's like in the 70s and it's dry. And this is the summer now because it's December, and yeah, it's great weather too. So I'd imagine the winter it's a little cooler, but I'll take a little cool over like sweating buckets all day. I'm kind of surprised there are so many fast food places when the local food's so good. You know, it's sometimes I don't mind trying like fast food and stuff because like the food in the country might be kind of mediocre, but it's like everything's so good. I don't even know why people would get mediocre hamburgers and fries, you know, but whatever. Another great day. Tomorrow we'll roll out. We'll head down to Lake Titicaca, and then the next day I think we'll be at the border of Peru. I don't know about getting our motorcycles in there. We might end up taking a bus to La Paz, and then maybe renting a motorcycle going up to that like Death Road or whatever it's called. But yeah, Arequipa's been great. You know, I besides the traffic and stuff that first day, that was pretty annoying, but definitely could be livable. You know, I'm sure if you find your, you know, place on a side street, and there was plenty of areas that were quiet too, just not the main roads. And if I lived here, I wouldn't do any commute either. That would not be on the list of things to do. Yeah, the food's nice here. I'm sure the apartments are cheap, probably $300 for a 1 or 2 bedroom, and great weather. And you know what, the ladies, not too shabby. I kind of was under the impression that they were like mostly overweight here, or like the majority anyway. And maybe that's like that in some places, and I kind of noticed that in Lima and some of the towns, but Arequipa, man, it's, I mean, of course some are, but it's like a lot of nice ladies. So I don't know what the dating would be like here. I'm sure it's like anywhere else, you know, it just depends on the person. But yeah, I definitely, this will be on the list here. Oaxaca I really liked in Mexico. So maybe next year around this time in the winter, instead of spending in Colorado, I could be here for 3 months learning Spanish, you know, and just rent out that apartment. So it just rained here, actually, the first time. We've been here for about a week. I think that's the first rain. It was only about, 15 minutes. It was light. It's like a hot cider, basically. It's kind of like a little bit of a licorice taste. Maybe like Jägermeister, a little bit.
Yep.
I don't know.
There was this other booze in Kunming that we used to get.
Licorice? I'm not sure. So we had an awesome time in Arequipa. We're gonna head up to the highest town in Peru, which is over 15,000 feet or 5,000 meters, and then go to Lake Titicaca and then into Bolivia. So if you enjoy everything so far, subscribe, and I'll see you guys down the road. Cheers.
Oh. No.
¿Cuánto era?
Look, she's saying it's 280. No, let's see the piece of paper. No, 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 no. 280. No. That's how
it's like $100 for 2 motorcycles for 3 days. US dollars.
You're not right. That's not.
Should we get the lady from the hotel? Yeah, we're getting the special Christmas price for foreigners.